Today's news, K-pop video director charged in South Korean corruption scandal.
I wrote 4 people back about this painting today, but nobody has purchased it yet, so I wanted to share it because we still have it. What's this one called?
That is Moonlight Garden.
Which drama is it from?
Moonlight Embracing the Sun.
Moonlight Embracing the Sun?
No. Moonlight Drawn by Clouds.
Moonlight Drawn by Clouds, you guys. Check out the link in the description for all her paintings, including this one. Down below. How's that look?
It's okay.
Cha Eun-taek, who is one of the more famous K-pop music video directors in South Korea, has been brought up on charges of abuse of authority, coercion, and embezzlement in connection with the scandal that has enveloped South Korean President Park Geun-hye and hit that country like a sledgehammer. This guy is pretty famous indeed, but when you do a search of his name or his name in MV or music video director into Google, all you're getting are articles of him getting arrested. So it's kind of hard to pull up all of the projects that he's worked on, but I did manage to find some of the MVs that he has directed or been involved with, including working with Psy on Hangover. He directed that one. He helped direct Gangnam Style. He also directed 21's Go Away. He also directed BoA's Eat You Up, and he's directed a bunch of Big Bang MVs, including Haru Haru, Lies, Last Farewell, and others of Big Bang. And he's also worked with Tiara quite a bit.
So it's important to note that he's been doing this since before Park Geun-hye got in office, but he's had a bigger influence and a bigger role since she became president.
It's almost as if he got too big for himself.
Oh, he's huge, but I will get to that. Cha Eun-taek is currently being called the crown prince of Korean culture because he has his fingers in so many things. I have my notes here. I had to draw myself a diagram so I could actually make sense of this all because I looked at all of the different articles and tried to piece them together because it was so confusing to me at first. I couldn't make sense of what was actually going on.
And if you're like us, we've been paying close attention to the scandal as it's been unfolding. And so some of these names have become second nature to us, like Chae Soon-sil, who's the 60-year-old friend of the South Korean president. And whenever her name is mentioned, it's like, okay, well, who's connected to her? Cha Eun-taek is connected to her. But for some of you, I'm sure it's just kind of like way over your head what the names of all these different people are. You just think all politicians are corrupt. But try and follow her if you can.
So Cha Eun-taek was in Chae Soon-sil's close, immediate, committee, if you will. And Chae Soon-sil was best friends and the advisor of Park Geun-hye, which is part of what this big scandal is all about.
Chae Soon-sil was the one that was able to push around the corporations to get them to donate money. And Cha Eun-taek, the music director, worked closely with her, so he was actually doing sort of the same thing.
Because of his connection with Chae Soon-sil, Park Geun-hye actually ordered her former economic advisor to help him pressure companies and officials to get the music video contracts.
I heard that not only did he work with the economic advisor, but he worked closely with the former chief of staff who's also been arrested.
Yes, he worked with the head of KOKA, which is the Korean Creative Content Agency. He was friends with them, they worked together, and he was also arrested. But what KOKA does, for those of you who don't know, it advances entertainment, Korean entertainment, both domestically and internationally. They do things like gaming, animation, music, fashion, broadcasting. It all goes through KOKA, which is a government-run agency.
Which means the government's paying all this money to KOKA. So if you have connections with KOKA, you can get all this money that is coming from the government that's literally coming from the taxpayers.
Exactly. So production support, marketing, promotion, global expansion, all of these things, which a lot of it ties into K-pop music videos and movies and advertising, is all run through KOKA.
Sounds like KOKA's been doing a pretty good job because K-pop in 2016 has been expanding. It's unfortunate that we're finding out now that Cha, who is one of the most successful music directors, had a hand in this illegally because there's such a fine line between legal and illegal. And if it had been done legally, all of this could have been celebrated.
Totally. But that's not even the biggest, scandal part of it all and how he really has his hands in everything. Probably the biggest part of this entire scandal is his role and his people's role in these huge committees and parts of Korean economic culture. Thanks to his connections, his former professor became the cultural minister.
Okay.
And his uncle became the senior presidential secretary for culture and education. His particular roles that he got as part of this whole package was he became a part of the Presidential Committee for Cultural Enrichment, the Creative Economic Initiative, and the Milano Expo Organizing Committee, of which the former head of Korean Tourism Office was actually fired for trying to refuse him a position in this Milano Expo.
So someone who worked at Coca was fired because...
No, not Coca. Someone at the Korean Tourism Office was fired.
Because she didn't like the way that he was going about his business. And yet, she was actually onto something.
Well, I think it was a he, but yes, he was onto something.
Okay. But he was the one that was backed by Chae Soon-sil, who was best friends with the president of South Korea. So therefore, he had nothing to worry about until the scandal broke. And he could go and get other people who were actually doing their job properly and legally fired. That's so nuts. It really is amazing how when humans in general get just a little bit more power than they're used to having, like he had some real success because he was creative and really, really good at directing music videos over there. He got in with some of the best acts. He rose in his prominence and in his stardom and in his ability to get more work and work on better projects, that he just exceeded what he really wanted in life a little bit more, because I read somewhere he was paid upwards of $500,000 US for something that he did through the scandal. And he probably could have made almost the same amount of money if he hadn't been connected to her and just had tried to work really hard on projects. Like you and I work really, really hard on this. We work every day. We can feel that eventually Hallyu Back is going to be even bigger than it is now, and we can feel the success that we've already created. You always got to be careful of some crazy shit coming that's like, oh, we can make this much more money, but you'd have to do this. Like, we don't ever want to get involved in anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have connections, and it's great to use those connections, but when it starts getting shady, that's when you need to back off.
I also think over there in South Korea, two things. One, it's such a small country, so there's so many interconnections with all of the celebrities and the K-pop business and just people in general. There's only one really, really big city that everybody's living in that's working on all of this stuff. Seoul. You don't see music videos being shot in Daegu. You occasionally see things being taken care of in Busan, but even Busan's not really the place or the hub for entertainment. Yeah,
you do see them being shot all around Korea, but you don't see that being the epicenter of where it's all organized and planned and everything else.
But the second thing that I was going to add to that is corruption is normal. It's the way of business there. Being able to just give somebody money and say, hey, can we work together? And there's no official receipt of that money is just normal happenstance. It's just a way they've always done it. Park Geun-hye learned this style of going about business just like everyone pretty much over there has from her father, who was also the president. He just happened to be a pretty ruthless president because he was a dictator. But she got democratically elected, but she's the daughter of a dictator. But they elected her, so they wanted her, which proves my point that people sort of don't care that the way of business there is still the corruption way. But South Korean President Park Geun-hye took it too far when she brought Chae Soon-sil in to write her speeches and dress her up and make all sorts of different decisions for the 2018 Winter Olympics. Way too much power went to Chae Soon-sil when she wasn't even on the government payroll, a government employee at all.
I think there's something to, as long as it's under wraps, if corruption's going on, people don't really mind it, but as soon as it comes to light that this is actually going on, everybody's against it. 1.9 million people marching through Seoul saying, step down, Park Geun-hye.
And she's about to, and if she hadn't, the protest probably would have gotten even bigger. Comments down below, you guys, on how interesting it is to hear a different side of the K-pop industry. When something like this happens, it's big news. We want to talk about it. And It's just so unexpected that a music video director who's a creative gets caught in this high-level scandal. He's arrested, he's going to jail for a long time. I mean, these charges are super serious.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because I actually really liked his music videos.
Isn't that nuts? Comments, you guys. Let us know what you think. Click the like button while you're down there. Thank you so much for supporting us, and don't forget to subscribe for more Hallyu Back news. That's it. We're out of here. Hasta luego.
Bye.